So, we are going through a few Reddit guides, I think. And there's actually a pretty cool guide which is about languages that are spoken on the world. So, the 100 most spoken languages. And I'm just seeing something. Mandarin is very big. Then there is modern standard Arabic, which is also very big. Of course, there's English, which is very big, which is this big thing that German is, something in the middle, I would say. Then French is definitely bigger than German, which I didn't actually think. Well, okay, yeah, in Africa, there is a lot of areas where they also speak French, yeah. Then Spanish is, of course, pretty big. Portuguese is as well big. And there's actually also an indicator of total speakers and native speakers. With Spanish, it is actually that the amount of total speakers is quite the native speaker index. And Portuguese is completely the case. It's not nearly, but it's completely the case. Whereas with English, it is like, the total amount of speakers is actually just, I don't know, or the native speaker amount is nowhere near the total speaker amount, which is pretty interesting. Bengali, which is also fairly just often spoken, I think as much as Portuguese, as far as I can tell. And it is also the case that the native speakers are kind of the total amount of speakers. But there is something big, which is Mandarin. Yes, I've said that. Japanese is the only Japanese language there is, which is very interesting. And of course, as we might know, there is Indo-European languages, which is Bengali apparently, then Russian, which is also spoken fairly often. And I didn't know, I was actually assuming that the most people that are speaking Russian are native speakers, but apparently it is not the case. There's actually quite some people, as far as I can tell, so quite some, like it is always a little bit of a guessing game here. But there's quite some people that actually do not that do learn Russian. Maybe it's all the astronauts. Could be the case. I don't know. How to make wild water safe to drink? Boiling, filters, ultraviolet light. I didn't think about that actually. Go high. Chlorine tablets, which kind of is nasty and not pretty cool, but yeah. Relative size. Actually, very well. I think we're gonna come back to that. Teapot kinds. I didn't actually know that they have names. Fucking hell. But they're also complicated, so I'm not gonna go through that. Types of saws. Hole saw, crosscut hand saw, hacksaw, backsaw, saber saw, compass saw, drywall saw, jigsaw, circular saw, chainsaw, circular saw blades. Yeah. Amazing. Signs associated with cults. Cult warning signs and red flags. Feeling of shame and or guilt are used to influence and or control members, often through peer pressure and persuasion. This is actually very interesting. Questioning, doubt, and dissent are discouraged or even punished. Mind-altering practices are used to suppress doubts about the group and its leaders. Radical alteration of the goals and activities members had before they joined the group. Preoccupation with bringing in new members and making money. Us versus them mentality. The group claims special exalted status for itself, its leaders, and its members. Members required to cut ties with family and friends. Members are encouraged or required to live and or socialize only with other group members. Members devote inordinate amounts of time to the group and group-related activities. Unquestioning commitment to a leader, belief system, ideology, and practices. Members are told how to think, act, and also feel. In the end, are justified by whatever means the group deems necessary. The most loyal members feel there is no life outside of the group and often fear reprisals to themselves or others if they leave or consider leaving the group. And all of these things, if you kind of notice this in yourself and or with other people, definitely red flags and definitely like warning signs, as they also point out. Yeah. Ever wanted to learn more about ramen? Actually pretty interesting, but I'm also gonna skip that. Canada's postal codes map. Not that interesting either. This is amazing. Constipation chart in doctor's office. What is your stool type? Let's see what my stool type is. It's probably like the worst it is, but I don't know. We'll see. Let's actually get back to not this, but this. Type 1 to 2 indicate constipation. Separate hard lumps like nuts, hard to pass. As well as sausage shaped but lumpy. Types 3 to 4, which are ideal, like a sausage but with cracks on its surface, and like a sausage or snake, smooth and soft. Types 5 to 7 indicates diarrhea, soft blobs with clear-cut edges passed easily, fluffy pieces with ragged edges, a mushy stool, and watery, no solid pieces entirely liquid. Yeah, there you go. There you have that. Be fine with it, I guess. Canine vegetable nutrition chart. To eat or not to eat, what are the best vegetables for dogs? Find out which veggies are safe and nutritious for your pup. Beans best to serve in moderation. I guess so. Who owns which boots? Biker boots, worker boots? There's actually a Bergsteiger boots. Bergsteiger means, how can I translate that? Or actually Bergsteiger. Boots means people that are hiking, that are just going uphill, that are going onto a mountain are Bergsteiger. Quite. Chelsea boots, desert boots, Franzen boots. Franzen or Franzen. I don't even know if this is an English word. Well, anyway, fell boots. This is a joke, isn't it? Fell boots. Fell means fur, as far as I can translate that. Then Lammfell boots, yes. Moon boots, Western cowboy boots, because I mean Lammfell is, I don't know what lamb is. The sheep's little babies, furry or fur. Open toe boots, which are fucking ugly. Ankle boots, Dr. Martens, rubber boots. They do have, I don't know, either they fuck it really up or they just mix up the translation, because there we have rubber boots and Gummistiefel, and Gummistiefel is rubber boots in German, just. Then we have Stiefel, Langschaft, and or Midcut. Overknees, sharp boots. I think they just really fucked it up. How the Bosch spark plugs changed from 1902 to 2011. They've really been big, and now they are really, really, really small. Budget categories. This is interesting, because we all need to budget, and it is always a good thing to know how to budget a little bit better. Budget categories. Necessary expenses and discretionary expenses, as well as, no, not as well as. So necessary expenses, housing costs, mortgage principal, mortgage interest, rent, parking, rent as home, property tax, landscaping, blah, 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 blah. Then utilities like electric, water, and sewer, gas. I didn't know that it is sewer. Internet, cell phone bill, landline, and so groceries, household supplies, transport costs, auto loan principal, gasoline, parking tolls, and what's not. Non-paycheck insurance, healthcare insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, life insurance. Cash withdrawals and bank fees. Yeah, we can't, go around that, I think. Credit card payments, credit card principal, child expenses, childcare, education fees and whatnot, and pet expenses, medical expenses, taxes, student loans, college expenses, payday loan, personal loan, small business and farm loan, alimony and settlements, reimbursable work expenses, and other necessary expenses. And discretionary expenses, which I think are expenses that are not very important. But I do want to point out, if you're just struggling with money, don't have a fucking pet. Period. But anyway, restaurants, bars, breweries, wineries, and coffee, activities and entertainment, dates, activities, movies, music, books, games, and all of that shit. Hobbies in sports, hobby equipment, hobby activities, sporting equipment and sports fees, subscriptions and memberships, streaming services, subscription services, and blah, 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 blah. Personal care and laundry, haircut style. I mean, if you really are on a budget, you could just cut your own hair. Just completely, just cut them away. If you're a man. If you're a woman, is a bit of a fucked up thing, but just let it grow. But I don't know what it feels like to be a woman in terms of hair, because when my hair are outgrown and they look just shit, I feel and think they look shit. I don't know what it is about with just women, if they also feel like, wow, it's just really looking shitty now, because most often it kind of looks the same. Of course, if you're having just dry hair and dried out hair, not cool, but yeah. Personal care and laundry. Then yeah, clothing and accessories. To some degree, yes, no. Home goods, furniture, cell phone and tech. Travel expenses, gifts and charity, transfer to other bank account, investment contribution, personal spending, and other discretionary expenses. Yeah. I mean, in terms of budgeting, I'm very good. And I might actually be doing an episode on that because it is something that I quite often think about and always think about and I'm always having on my mind. And yeah, I'm actually, it is actually something that I'm quite good at. I just know what I'm paying for what, and I know how to be very fucking fragile and cheap. I could actually be cheaper and more fragile, but I just, I don't know, then it is about convenience and it is about having more work to do, and I just don't want to have that, and I know that I'm not going to do that, or I'm going to forget about it. How to fold a t-shirt with 2-second roll, aka Japanese folding method. This is, by the way, something that I should learn on sometime. Are you properly hydrated? If your urine matches the colors 1, 2, or 3, you're probably hydrated. Continue to consume fluids at the recommended amounts. If your urine matches the colors past the red line, you are dehydrated and at risk for cramping and or heat illness. There's actually one color and it is brown. And I don't fucking know how this could be the case, but how can you have fucking brown piss? You need to drink more water ASAP. And I don't know, I have seen it myself and with myself that being hydrated lets me feel better and especially look better. And yeah, but there is also people saying, okay, it's like, you don't necessarily have to drink water because, of course, if you eat fruits and if you eat a lot of healthy foods, then they also contain a lot of water. So, yeah, Hourly benefits of fasting. This is amazing. This really is fucking amazing. Let's see, hourly benefits of fasting. Blood sugar drops and insulin levels drops, when we're having 4 to 8 hours. Then 12 hours, food has been burned, healing process begins, HGH increases, glucagon is released, and digestive system begins resting. HGH keeps increasing, fat burning begins after 14 hours. Fat burning increases after 16 hours. HGH increases after 18 hours. Autophagy begins and ketones are released 18 to 20 hours. Autophagy increases by 300% after 36 hours. After 48 hours, cellular regeneration starts and inflammation goes down, and 72 hours, autophagy peaks. I don't know what autophagy is. Autophagy, I've written it incorrectly, I know, but we don't care. From the ancient Greek, blah, 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 self-devouring is the natural regulated mechanism of the cell that removes unnecessary or dysfunctional components. It allows the ordinary degradation and recycling of cellular components, which sounds actually pretty good and cool. It's actually an amazing chart. It is by 7sigmaphysiques.com. 7sigmaphysiques.com. I've just completely fucked it. But yeah, there it is. And it apparently, as far as I can tell, is a big advocate of ketogenic diet, troubleshooting, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, anyway, let's see if there is one last cool guide there that we can have. That phrase just strikes me as a bit loaded and UHE. No, do people who abstain from fasting not heal? Well, nobody abstains from fasting. They may not do intermittent fasting. You fast every night when you sleep. That is why the first meal of the day is called breakfast. Break fast. And while I know the term may sound new agey, I would classify it as this. Stuff like cellular regeneration and autophagy are literally your body healing itself. Because there was somebody saying, healing process begins is the one thing that jumped out at me that makes me skeptical of this. That phrase just strikes me as a bit loaded and new agey. Do people abstain from fasting not heal? Yeah, they do, but it is somehow different. I do fast, by the way. Sometimes it is longer than my 16 hours because I just can't eat and I kind of am not hungry, but most often just because I can't eat because I need to work. Batman through the years The fuck happened to Batman in 1943? 1943. The Batman film. Yeah, he really got fat. Pretty interesting. And then in 1958, he got really hipster and colorful. 1992 is very cool, I would say. Looks very great. Batman Beyond looks also pretty interesting, as well as Batman Ninja in 2018. Pretty interesting. But I didn't actually know that he changed so much, as well as Batman Superman Armor. Didn't know that. Spider-Man throughout the years. Very interesting. Superior Spidey. And then we're having PS4 Spidey. Well, then Noir Spidey, who is black and armored suit, and then Symbiote 2099 Spidey. Well, yeah, pretty interesting. Among Us. I have actually no clue how Among Us is working, but yeah, I also don't need to know that. And yeah, I'm gonna end the episode there, so I wish you the best health of happiness and all success, and also hope that you're gonna remind yourself and you're gonna be remembered to means your legacy, basically just being a nice person, and then being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty fucking cool thing. 3 other questions that I'm having you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions. Hopefully gonna show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, which is a pretty fucking cool thing as well. One last thing that I'm having you is, what could you essentially say to another person that's indeed gonna change their life? Because I totally believe that we all can say something, that we all can communicate something. It's gonna change somebody's life. And yeah. With the being said, bye-bye, and thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Please take care of yourself, your family members, and everyone you love. Bye-bye.